Take 2. Hi everybody, welcome back to Laaleebee Knits. My name is Natalie. I am a knitter based in Belfast, Northern Ireland, and I share all my little crafty knitting things here on YouTube. It's not early January, my god, it's like 25th of January today. Christmas was a month ago. Today's off to a good start. I have just set up to record. Got myself my coffee, got all my stuff lying around, set up, literally started recording, and the iPad fell, coffee went everywhere, Henry leapt up, hit the ceiling, and now I'm covered in coffee. I'm covered in coffee. Luckily, it didn't hit any of the projects. It has covered my little velvety footstool thing, but let's hope that things only go up from here. It is a good indicator of what my life has been like for the past few weeks. It's been coming at me. So much has happened. So many different things. So I talked about car accident last time. Thank you for all your well wishes. Got myself a new little car. It's just a little run around till I can afford something nicer. So I got the car sorted. Chloe has been knitting away. She is going to come on the podcast. She's been moving. And just as she's supposed to move in, she's moving in with her boyfriend. The day they're moving was a Saturday. He plays football. Chloe was getting ready, packing up, and she got a phone call because her boyfriend broke his leg in 2 places during football in a pretty rough tackle. So he's just out for 3 months. Broken leg, God help him. It looked really painful. His wee dog's fretting about him. Chloe's running around trying to get moved and get organised, and so things have been hectic that end. Then a couple of days later, my stepdad works in Belfast and travels on the train, and if you've ever been, you probably haven't, but if you've ever been in Belfast in rush hour, it's nothing like New York, but it's busy for us. And when you're getting on the train, they're just not very well organised, so it's very easy to step on the wrong train. Well, that's what he did. He got onto the wrong train, him and like maybe 6 or 7 other people, because they changed trains at the last minute. They changed where they were going in. So it was chaotic at the best of times. And then he was on this train and the train caught fire. The train caught fire with my stepdad on it. And he just, like, he couldn't, like, he said that it sounded like a plane landing, but the train wasn't slowing down, and one of the last train carriages, caught fire. The carriage that he was in filled with smoke. People were screaming in panic, and a woman wailing. So Paul and this other guy is trying to get off the train. He couldn't get the doors open. The emergency doors wouldn't open. The conductor and the driver wouldn't answer the little emergency calls. So for a minute they were trapped in this train. But he got out. He got everybody else out, and that was just, he said that there were literal flames coming up the side of the train. Must have hit something. It's been really stormy over here, and it must have hit something on the train tracks, but it was at rush hour. Like, trains had been going the whole day on that train track, so what? So that was dramatic. I think that's enough drama for us. For like, how much bad luck can a family have in a month? Just crazy. Just crazy. So, yeah. Yeah, it's been hectic. Oh, and then there's not, well, this is just a funny wee thing. So I was on FaceTime with a couple of my sisters, and Sophie had changed her phone provider. Very boring info. She changed her phone provider. They gave her a temporary number until she got her old number back, and her FaceTime hadn't connected to the number, so she was using this random number that none of us had saved in our phones. So Chloe and Amy and I were on FaceTime. We were like, we should add Sophie in, or Sophie's phoning us. And I said, oh, I don't have her number saved. I can't add her in. And Chloe said, don't worry. It's coming up as a suggestion for me. I'll add her in. So Chloe added, not Sophie. She added what turned out to be her handyman into our sister FaceTime call. She added this number, and I was looking at it going, that doesn't look familiar. I don't think that is. And then this man answered, hello? We were on FaceTime. Do you know when you're on FaceTime with your sisters and you're like, well, they're not, but I am. I have not a scrap of makeup on. Hair's not done. I shouldn't be seen by other humans, to be quite honest. Let alone some random handyman that we've added to the call. So I hung up really quickly before the other two had realised. I was like, oh my god, hung up the phone and then texted Chloe and was like, that's not Sophie. It's been strange. So, I hope you're all doing well. I think I'm going crazy. I think I'm losing it a little bit. Can't believe I just launched that coffee all over me. Raging. Anyway, I have some knitting to show. So I may as well get into it. I have 2 finished objects. One's knitting and one is not. So we'll see. Right, let's start with my first finished object. I have done my January socks for this month. This is a sock set by Giddy Aunt Yarns. It's called Ice Bubbles. It was their Curiosity Yarn Club. It was a 50-20 sock set, and I got heels, toes and cuffs out of it. This pattern is the broken rope pattern that's in the Hello Sailor sock set by Summer Knits Design Co, something like that. Summer Lee Design Co is the designer of this sock set. So I did things a little bit differently with these. I didn't do my 2x2 rib. I followed the pattern and went straight into the broken rib stitch, which is quite nice. I usually do longer cuffs. I usually do 16 rows at least, sometimes 20, but 20 is a wee bit too much. But I only did 10 here because it's ribbed the whole way, so it didn't really matter. I just wanted that nice little design detail. And I had enough of the mini for my heel flap and gusset. No, well, heel flap and heel turn. This is the gusset here. And my toes and that little bit of cuff. And I chose it because the Grocery Girls, who you will know, have a podcast. Oh my god, right, Natalie, engage your brain. You know the Grocery Girls have a podcast. I talk about them all the time. They're really big. You'll know them anyway. They run a knit along every year called Sock Bash, where they have a theme every month, and if you knit to the theme, you get 2 entries into their little prize for the month. But you don't have to knit to the theme. So if you're just knitting a pair of socks within the month, enter them into their Sock Bash. I've won a prize from them before. So it really does happen. But here are my socks for that theme. The theme was the Pantone colour of the year, which is something like fuzzy peach, peachy something, which is this colour. So those are my little socks for January. I love this sock set. It's been in my stash for a little bit, maybe a year. So it's nice to have them knit up into these little pair of socks. And I had a little bit left over. I haven't talked about it for a long time, but I am doing a little scrappy crochet blanket, and I had enough of each to do a little granny square of each. And I just wanted to show like how differently the variegated colorways look in crochet. I actually prefer them in the crochet, you know, just because you get those kind of painterly bits of colour represented better in the crochet than you do. This looks more like the skin and how they paint the like colours under the skin. You don't really know what you're going to get whenever you knit it up, but this looks very similar to the skin. So I had enough to do, these are about 3 grams each. So yeah, I had enough left to do all of that. So that will be added to my blanket. I have it sitting here. If I remember, I'll show you the rest of it later. Have I weighed those? I think I did. Yeah, I did. I can go into the little blanket stash. So it was my first finished object. Next one is not a knitting finished object. This is an embroidery piece. So I have really been getting into the Tales from the Hoop embroidery kits. It's a little shop on Etsy, I'll link it below. Really great kits, I've never embroidered before. And then I got one, the little pumpkin one I think I showed you. It provides everything you need. You can choose whether you want the kit to have the hoop or not. If you don't have the hoop, it's a little bit cheaper. But you can choose to have the hoop with it. It gives the threads that you need, it gives you 2 types of needles, it gives you the pattern, but it also gives you detailed instructions on how to do each stitch. So, and what order to do them in. So if you're a complete beginner like me, this walks you through it. And it gives you a little piece of felt to back and a little ribbon to hang it up. So this is my second kit. I got it from my friend Melissa for Christmas and I finished it. And this is the vibe of my life. Always busy overthinking. I love it. It was challenging. This was challenging for me because I like it to be perfect. And it wasn't perfect the first time, so I ripped it out and did it again. And now it's a little bit better, but far from perfect. But I love, I'll just kind of hold it up like that. I love the details. I love the gold. Oh, eyelashes on it. It's not good. Love the gold. Love the florals. Teaches you how to do it. Obviously I did this wrong. You're supposed to do it like this. Well, I didn't really read it carefully enough at that point. And then I went in and fixed the rest. I love these. I kind of want to have like a little, like this is one that can go up all year round, but I would quite like to have, I have a little place in my living room where I'd like to have like seasonal hoops and change it like with the month. So maybe that would be something. I mean, I haven't done a January one. Maybe that's something to think about, maybe doing a little design once a month. Very satisfying. And very different to knitting in that you can be as neat as you want. I don't know. I really love it. I find it really satisfying doing it. I actually picked it up because my hand was cramping a little bit and my left hand was cramping, and that's the hand that I whenever I'm crocheting, I hold my yarn in this hand, but when I'm knitting, I'm moving the needle most with this hand. So it was cramping up. I had quite a lot of pain. It went right up to my elbow. I'm obviously not sitting properly when I knit, but I had to give that hand a little break, and so I picked this up because I'm right-handed. So I love it. It's my favourite. And actually the colours of it are very similar, kind of, yeah. There's that little peach that's the colour of the year. Nice! So those are my two finished objects. I'll continue the embroidery theme by showing you the next one that I'm working on. I've found this on Pinterest. I'm not a very good artiste. I do want my youngest sister Amy to sketch out some things for me so that I can embroider them, because she's really great. But I found this little design on Pinterest, so I'm stitching this up. It might be for Amy. I did have another design. Her birthday's in April. I did have another design in mind for her, but I think she'd like this too. So it's not an original piece to myself. The image is on Pinterest. The image is just a line drawing. It wasn't an embroidery, but yeah. This little needle minder is from Tales in the Hoop, and this is some scrap fabric that I had. I doubled it up because it was quite thin, so I doubled it up, and yeah, just doing a black outline. I might do some gold details on it too, but I wanted to do something to like practice my outline work. So yeah, that's all my embroidery chat. It's nice to pick up when my hands are starting to ache a little bit from knitting, or I want a different change of pace. So that's embroidery. Now what have I got? I've got 1, 2, 3 projects that I've been working on kind of religiously, and then some future projects, and then a couple of acquisitions. So let's go for the most exciting whip. I have been watching the Laaleebee podcast. Where have I been? Where have I been? Her podcast is so lovely to sit and knit, and every time I watch it, I get so excited to knit on garments, because she is a garment knitter, and I'm on the early episodes, but she churns out jumpers and sweaters and cardigans like nobody's business. She churns them out. She has like a new garment nearly every podcast. So it's so inspiring to get garments back on my needles. I think I kind of stepped away from garment knitting a little bit last year, and I really want to build up my wardrobe a wee bit more this year. So this is my, what is this called? Pink velvet. It does not look pink or velvet, so that's why I forget. This is my pink velvet sweater by Dry Renee Knits. I'm knitting this out of Cascade Heritage Silk. Excuse me. In some sort of grey colour and some sort of white colour. It's like a blue grey. Do I have the numbers? Usually I'm very good and I keep my tags. I think I have binned them. I'll look up the numbers for you and put them down below. They actually have nice names, but the tags only have numbers, so I will put them down below when I find them. This is top down sweater, colour work here, love, love, love. In the pattern, this part is knit with Suri alpaca, but I had these yarns. I knew I wanted to knit a colourwork sweater with these yarns, and this was just calling my name. So I've knit quite a bit. I'll show you the body. I have to knit maybe another inch on the body before I start. Well, I'll try it on, but the pattern says another inch and then start your ribbing. So I'll knit another inch, try it on and see how I like where it hits me, and then do the ribbing. And then should be nearly ready. I have 4 skeins of the blue grey and 1 skein of the white. Did not need a full skein of the white. I think I could have knit this colour work in a mini easily, because I have so much left of this. But I have the first skein of blue got me to like here. Let me find the join. Actually, you can tell where I joined. Can you? Not anymore. Oh, yeah, right. Look, the first skein got me to here of blue, which is pretty good going. I think I'm knitting the 2XL size. So you can see in the back it'll block out, but that's where that first skein got me to. Which is pretty good, pretty economic. Finger and weight sweaters are economical with yarn. I think you get more. It goes further, less goes further. But it does take a long time. I'm knitting these on, what size needle are you? 3.5s. It takes a long time. But I've been watching the Laaleebee podcast and just charging through this stockinette. I'm loving it. So this is my pink velvet sweater. I think I should call it my blue silk sweater. I love it. I'm very excited. I think I'll get the body finished this weekend, and then it's just sleeves. Wouldn't it be nice to finish it for January? For like the end of January. That would be very nice. I don't know if that's a bit of a pipe dream, but it would be nice to finish it. So this is living in my little bag that I made. Not much to say about that. I think this is a William Morris. Is it, or is it a Liberty? Liberty. It's Liberty. Fabric that I probably got from either WoolWarehouse or LoveCrafts actually does it too. They've got a good selection of fabrics now actually. Easy to get. Right, so that's my exciting one. The others are still exciting, but then you know it's not jumper. I always have a sock on the go, and in what's the word I'm looking for? In light of recent events, recent traumatic events, I cast on a pair of birthday socks for my stepdad. Because he deserves something nice to happen in his life right now. I knit him a pair of socks for Christmas, not the Christmas just, the Christmas before, and he doesn't like them. They're too rough on his little feet. I knit those out of West Yorkshire spinners, and he must just have really sensitive skin on his feet because they're too rough for him. He can't wear them. So I think Neil will get those because Neil loves West Yorkshire spinner socks. And I'm knitting these out of Cascade Heritage yarn, which is very, very soft. It's 75-25% merino. I have knit socks out of this, and I've knit a jumper out of this before. One thing to note about it is that it pills like crazy. I don't know why, but it pills. My jumper pills. Like I need to clean it every time I wear it. And my socks don't wear too well with this, but I'll just repair them for him. Go do an afterthought heel, and that'll be easy enough to put in a new one when he wears through them. So, but I think it'll be much softer for his little feet. So I'm doing, I can't remember the colours of these either, but I'll put them. This looks similar to my jumper colour, is it? No. Oh, it looks really blue when you put them together like that, doesn't it? I'll find the colours for these too. They're pretty inexpensive. If you want to knit a really soft finger and weight sweater, it's a good option to go to. I don't know how ethical Cascade are, but if you're working within budget constraints, it's a good one to go for. So I cast on 60. Did I cast on 68? Yes, I did. I cast on 68 stitches and I'm knitting on a 2.5 because I usually knit socks on a 2.25. I wanted them to go a little bit faster. So 68 stitches. I think I did 16 rows here, and then each stripe is 5 rows each, so that when it comes to putting the afterthought heel in, I can put it in right in the middle of a stripe. And I'm just working away, and those deadline for these is when's Paul's birthday? 23rd. So I've got a little bit of time to go. They're not an entry for Sock Bash because I'll not get them done in January, but they're a little gift knit. And it's good to get those on the needles ASAP because I've learned my lesson from gift knitting at Christmas there. I will never gift knit the way I did at Christmas. It was too much. I hope everybody really enjoys their presents because you're not getting any more. That's all you're getting. Don't darken my door. Speaking of, I still have 2 presents still to give. This month is just flying away. So anyway, that's Paul's socks. They'll just be taken away. I'm trying to do at least 2 stripes a day just to keep them ticking away. So, sock project, always on the go. Last project. You haven't seen this in a while. This is my Attune shawl. I haven't seen it in a while because I'm getting a little bored of it. Oh, these stitch markers, these progress keepers, stretch out my little stitches. Something shocking. Anyway, here is my Attune shawl. It's so slow. It's so slow. Mostly because one full repeat of the pattern is 8 rows. Brioche and fisherman's rib, so you have to have 2 passes per row. Really it's only 4 rows, but you have to do it twice. So it's taking a while. And I want to knit my sweater instead. This one I need a little bit of brain power because there are 2 different increase rows to give it this asymmetrical look, so I have to just keep that in mind where I am. But once I actually get into it, I actually really enjoy knitting brioche and knitting the fisherman's rib. It's going to be a really nicely squishy shawl, and I do love wearing them in the winter. I kind of sit when I'm knitting, I like it around my back and like wrapped up a little bit. It's like a blanket that you can wear. So I do want it. I'm just low on the old motivation for it. So I think once I get my sweater into a place where with the sweater things are happening, so I have another inch to knit, then I'll measure it and then do my ribbing. And then once I get the sleeves attached and it's plain stuck in it, then maybe I'll come back to this and something a bit more interesting for my brain. But this is using a variety of yarns just in my stash that are all in this kind of wheelhouse, and I'm just throwing them in whenever, and that makes me uncomfortable. I hate just not having a plan, but I'm trying my best to just embrace the stripiness of it. So you basically knit the brioche and fisherman's rib for as long as you want, really. The pattern does give recommended sizes, and then there's a big band of garter stitch. But I don't want to chintz out on the squishiness part. So I think I'll just keep going until I really am done. And then I'll switch to garter. I want to make it at least as big as the biggest size in the pattern. I have enough yarn to do so much more than the biggest size, so that is a long-term work in progress. And I think the last time you saw it was here. It's not very much progress at all, but it's taken away in the background. And trying to have as, oh, I have another, I cast on a muscle burn, I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. I'll talk about it next time. Very short review of it. It's very boring to knit. Maybe because I'm knitting it in a fingering weight and I'm just really bored of it. But it would be a good project to bring to the cinema. So maybe I should go to the cinema and just fire through the muscle burr. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about the muscle burr. I don't even know where it is. Obviously I haven't picked it up this week. Well, anyway, this is living in my Hohi Locatelli Hohi & Co bag, Pampa Bucket, in their gingerbread colourway, which is not very gingerbready. It's very pale for gingerbread. But anyway. Is that all my whips? That's all my whips. Okay. Well, I could show you. There's nothing too much to show here. It's my big thing of granny squares that I keep in this box bag thing. And then whenever I get enough of one colour, I crochet them into one patch. So it'll kind of look like, it's like a way for me to organise the colours without being too organisational about it. So I keep my little scrappies in here and a crochet hook, and I just crochet up little squares. And I've been actually weighing my projects and my yarn as I go, because I want to total it all up at the end of the month and see how I'm doing with my little yarn challenge. Yeah, I'll put a little update on Instagram maybe. I'm not doing too badly, although I have got yarn coming in, so I'll show you the yarn that's coming in a wee minute. Shall I do planned projects or will I do my yarn? I'll do my yarn. God, I'm a wee bit all over the place today. I can't believe I threw that coffee everywhere. Wild. Anyway, I will win a prize. Another prize. Who am I? I won a prize in the pigskin party knit along. I won a pattern last time, a knit a little pair of socks just before Christmas, and then I won some yarn from Bella Fio, who is based in America somewhere. That's her little card, and I was able to pick a skein of yarn off her website, so I went for the blue-footed booby. Isn't this lovely and spring-like? This is a huge skein. This is supposed to be 100 grams. It's 115. It's a huge skein. Isn't this beautiful? So I think this is, do you know, why am I saying I could make another muscle burr out of this and I'm not enjoying knitting the muscle burr? Maybe if I doubled it up. Beautiful. My blue stash yarns are there. But nothing, it does fit in, but, oh, hey, look at those speckles in here. That's nice. So I won a competition. I am trying to not bring yarn into the house, but I won a competition, so it doesn't count. Delighted with this. Thank you so much to Bellafia. And just shows you that, like, that was a participation prize. Like, I haven't really, I just was participating. And, like, I think there was a monthly challenge and I joined in the challenge and then I won. So that's nice. Shows you that you should join in. And the other thing, did I show my Beehive Yarns Club? I did show my last Beehive Yarns Club. Well, she was doing a little sale with some leftover clubs from last year and I pounced on a mini skein set. Let's see it better there. Beautiful. This was September's colours, which of course, because this is my vibe. I am a September baby. This is the little, what do you call that? Inspo pick. And so I got this. This is the full skein that I got in my club that you've seen before. I got it in gold sparkle. Look at that shine. Look at that sparkle. So this is the full club, or the full speckled skein. And this is the mini version that was coming out with it. Isn't it crazy how much lavender is in this? But it's obviously a mix of maybe these two dyes. So yeah, I thought I could knit something with these together. What that something is, I don't know yet. But pretty. Or I could do a really beautiful colour work. Like, that could be the colour work to a jumper. What colour would I do the jumper? Do this colour. Beautiful. Or this. She does a beautiful black called Cemetery Gates that I think is very similar to that. But I'm not buying yarn for jumpers because I have sweater quantities in stash, but maybe that's what this will turn into. Beautiful. So those are my yarn acquisitions. Yeah, well, I'll give you a rundown of how much yarn I've used so far. I finished some purple striped socks. What were they? I can't remember what they were. I'll have shown them in my last episode. They have gone from my memory. What were my purple stripy socks? Purple. Oh yes. Oh my god, Natalie, switch on today. They were my purple and there's like a brown through it too. There's coffee all over my phone. It's very good, Natalie. Anyway, I finished my purple socks. That was 68 grams for full length pair, which is pretty good. Pretty good considering you get 70 gram sock sets. That's pretty good yarn management. My tune shawl is still a whip. My pink velvet sweater is new. My January socks, which you just saw, are 68 grams. And I've crocheted 76 grams worth of granny squares so far. So I'm on my way to using up, but I have brought in 315 grams of yarn so far, and my January club from Beehive Yarns is not arrived yet. So if I finish my sweater, then I'm using more than I'm bringing in, and that's good. So I need to finish my sweater. And do you know what? Those wee crochet squares like will bump up as well. So yeah, I'm not doing too well with my with my yarn management already. It's crazy how easily it just creeps into your stash and how slowly it takes to work through it too. But I have some plans, speaking of. So I want this year to be the year of garments, because I didn't knit very many last year, and by that I mean sweaters and cardigans. So I've got that sweater on the go, and so I skeined up or caked up my next sweater, which is going to be a ranunculus. I'm a wee bit nervous about it because pulling out frogging merino and mohair held together is horrible, and I don't want to make a mistake and then have to frog it because it's going to be gross. And also I'm a little short on my mohair, but we'll see how I go. I've got 2 skeins of Shiburi Silk Cloud in stash. This is the Suits colourway. This is completely discontinued, like the brand's gone. They shut down last year. So this is Precious Treasure. And I did have another little tiny nugget of it somewhere, and I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. Is it in a project bag? I don't know. It's gone. So this is Precious Treasure. It's 300 meters, 330 yards per skein, and they're 25-gram skeins. So I think I have just enough to knit a ranunculus, maybe with short sleeves. So I've got those 2 beauties held together with a sock set and some extra minis. So, oh, now they're all out of order. I've shown this before in the podcast, but I'll show it again. I bought a set of minis from Pixie Yarn. I think it was something like rain, it's not rainbow. It's something like a rainy cloud, rainburst, something like that. Something to do with rain. As a sock set. I've kicked them all up so they're running away. Are you in sparkle as well, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. Are you sparkling? Yes. So this is the little mini skein set that I bought, and I also had an advent calendar from Pixie that year, the year before, that has a few colours that just fit perfectly with this feet. So how am I going to do this? I don't have enough hands. Not like you are. You know, you wouldn't know I have a doctorate. The way that I get on. So I have those, and then there's 2 more. There. So I found just a couple of little, they're not sparkly, but I don't think it'll matter. Found another little couple of minis to bulk that out, and this, believe it or not, is enough for a ranunculus because you knit it at such a big gauge. It's 14 stitches per inch. So you hold this with your mohair. I think the mohair will make it a nice blue. It'll blend it a good bit better. And yeah, this does not feel like enough to knit a big girl like me a top, but apparently so. It's not even 2 skeins. So I'm nervous about it because I don't want to rip back mohair. I really don't. But even if I run out of mohair, I'm sure I'll find it'll be for like the bottom rip. I'm sure I'll find something I won't look too mental. And so that I don't use it. So realistically, I'm supposed to swatch with that with the yarn that I'm going to use, but I don't want to waste that, so I'm going to swatch with some leftover mohair. This is Beehive Yarns in her Tulle colourway. I knit the Jessie May Designs V-neck raglan-y thing in this. What was that called? Diaphanous raglan. So I'm just going to hold it with that and see if I can get a gauge. I think I don't have the right needles for it, so I might need to do a little trip to Hanks to pick up bigger needles. But that's my plan for my next top. I'm not going to cast it on until I've cast off that one. I think 1 in, 1 out in terms of sweaters is how I have to discipline myself with it, because I will just cast on a lot and not finish anything and then be really sad about it. So in another little bag that I made, So that's that plan. My next sweater is planned out. And then I've also planned out my socks for February. So let me just move to my sock bash. So sock bash theme for February is love and pink and hearts and mauve and whatever. So I'm gonna do, I have this book here, Charming Colourwork Socks. I've said before, I have little chunky legs, and colourwork socks, most socks don't come up my leg the way they do in the models' pictures, because my legs are little chunky boys. So I struggle a bit with colourwork socks going that far up. So I do need to have a little think about that, and maybe there'll be some trial and error with these. But I'm going to knit these I Heart socks because they're adorable. They're so cute. But they will not go up my leg the way they used to go. So what I might do is, I'm thinking they're top down, so if I cast on, well, see, this is where I've gone wrong as well, because I've knit colourwork socks and I've gone up a needle size and cast on the large size, and they are huge on my feet. They're huge, like they're uncomfortably big. So what I think I need to do is cast on my normal size, use the larger needle for my leg, and then switch to my normal needle for my feet. That might be a plan. So there might be a little bit of ripping out and redoing with this, but that's the plan. Rather than trying to put increases into this chart, I think that will be too complicated to try and decrease before the heel turn and everything. So that'll be a little headache for me in February, but I do want to figure that out. I want to like knit colourwork socks that are comfortable for bigger sizes, and then I can have proper notes in my Ravelry and give them here for anybody else who has chunky little legs like me. So of course I went to my stash because I'm being very good. Did I have a look to see if there were any yarny Valentine's kits? Yes, I did. There are two that I saw in particular. One is hugely expensive. It's Botanical Yarns. It's £140 for a Valentine's box. It contains quite a lot of yarn in it, I think. I didn't look at it because £140 is just out of my budget. And Birch Street Yarns also have a little Valentine's box, and it's £40. So you get 120 grams sock set plus a couple extra goodies. And I am still eyeing that up. I like their inspo picture. And I do like Birch Street Yarns, but I haven't purchased it yet because I do have the perfect yarn for this pattern. This is again a Cascades that's just been in my stash for a long time, and a neon. I think this isn't a goodie yarn. Look at that neon. This is from Coopnits in their little socks, yeah, neon collection. So I'm gonna knit my little heart socks in this. This will be the main colour and these will be the hearts. This is gonna be adorable. I'm really excited for these. So I haven't bought myself a Valentine's yarn. Maybe I can convince my Valentine to get it for me. But we don't really do Valentine's gifts. We just make a really nice steak dinner. But maybe we'll see. I've had a hard time. People have been going on fire and getting in car accidents and breaking their legs. But it would mean that I would have to add in 120 grams of yarn into my... See, this is the thing, like, now that I've set myself the challenge of not bringing in yarn, it's really making me second guess purchasing whenever I want, which is good. But also, I do love Birch Street yarns. So I'm undecided about that. I will let you know next time if I give in and get some. Oh, it's so hard being restrained. So anyway, I think that's everything. Oh, last thing is I forgot to say what I'm wearing. This is one of the first jumpers that I ever knit. And I think it's testament to the pattern, just how easy it was to knit, because it doesn't look like an easy first knit. This is the Wool and Honey jumper from Dry Renee Knits, and it's knit in Giddy Aunt yarns in their Blackcurrant Jam colourway, and it's one of my favourite jumpers. And I knit it when I had black hair, or darker hair anyway, so it suited me a wee bit more then, but I love this colour. And I've been looking into that colour theory thing, you know, where you're like a season. Well, I'm trying to figure mine out. I think I'm a light summer, which goes against everything that I like. I like rich jewel tones, and they just, TikTok says they don't suit me. And they're probably right, but here I am in my favourite little jumper. Right, I think that's enough. Oh, there's my front door. Alright, I'm away. Bye. Mostly because one full repeat of the pattern is 8 rows. Oh, Sophie's phone. Hang on. Hi. I'm recording the podcast.
Your podcast? Alrighty, I'll let you.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
It was just Sophie, don't worry, Henry. You're cute. Put your head down, good boy. Right, let's start again. What was I saying? Each repeat of the